Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode number 140 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media and presented to you by our friends over at SeatGeek. And look who is back with us, none other than from the Chicago Cubs, Stephen Brault. Hello.
Cheers. Hello.
How are you? I thought you just said that Lydia is going to get you Starbucks.
Well, I wake up earlier than Lydia, right? So I get up and I take the dog out, to pee and everything, and then there's a Starbucks right on the corner. So I was like, I'm gonna grab coffee, but Lydia doesn't get up, so I don't want her coffee to get cold because we don't have a microwave in the hotel room, obviously. So, but now Lydia's going to get her own coffee, but also to get us breakfast. But 1 second, let me grab the dog so I can show you.
This is exciting.
This is Lucy.
Is this a new edition?
No. This is old. She's 16. Look
Oh my gosh. What's her name?
Look.
Lucy?
Lucy. She's the cutest. She can't really hear or see very well.
Well, then that means that she should be an avid viewer and listener of the Rose Rotation, because that's the best way to be on this show.
Yeah, but she's very well behaved, and she gets nervous a little bit in hotel life and stuff, but she's getting used to it.
So whose dog was it?
Lydia's. So yeah, Lucy's 16. They had her since 6 weeks after she was born or whatever. So she's extremely attached to Lydia. I mean, to a crazy extent. But she accepts me. I would say that. She's cool with me now. It's taken a little bit, but now she knows me, and she's very cute. And everybody, it's so funny when you take her out to go pee. Everybody you walk by is just like, "Oh my God, your dog is so cute." And it's like, I know, but they always think she's a puppy because she looks like a puppy,
right?
Even though she's so old. So she's doing good.
16.
16.
Not a lot of dogs that make it to 16, brother.
No, and she's obviously she has slowed down quite a bit, but she's fine. She's just an old dog.
I love that. Now you're in a hotel. Where are you?
DC. We're playing. This is Monday. We're playing the Nationals Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday we're supposed to be an off day, but it's a makeup game from earlier in the year, so we're going to play Baltimore.
Oh, well, you're right there.
Chicago. Yeah, I mean, we probably won't change hotels that night. Actually, we'll probably just have a longer bus ride to the field on Thursday, I would assume.
Smart thinking.
It's probably 45 minutes from here, something like that.
Yeah, a little longer. Sometimes that summer DC traffic gets a little gnarly.
Right. So I assume since it was supposed to be an off day, who knows how these things work, but usually, you take when it's a longer bus ride like that, you just take it, the day of, and then just get to the field a little bit later usually. But when you're on the road, it doesn't really matter because BP isn't until 2 hours before game time. So, but yeah, we'll see. It's my first time ever going to play in Baltimore. Actually,
I was just thinking that. I was like, you couldn't have gone over there too many times.
I have one major league save, and it was against the Orioles, but at home. It was a 3-inning. We were up 9-0.
Yes.
Yeah, 3-inning save. So I got one now.
For people that have forgotten, Baltimore was your first professional home. You were drafted by the Baltimore Orioles before being traded, I believe, for Travis Snyder.
It's funny. I was trying to, I was down in AAA doing rehab, and there's a bunch of new guys. After the trade deadline, we moved a lot of guys, got new prospects. A lot of guys from AA moved up, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of new pitchers from the last time I was there, even though it was only about a month ago. And so having those conversations again with new people, I was like, yeah, I got traded, a player named later for Travis, and I couldn't get Darno out of my head. I couldn't do it, and I knew that wasn't right. And literally, I had to go look up on my phone who I got traded for. I was like, something's wrong with me. I think I've been doing too many crosswords, so there's too many words going on in my head. I've been doing the New York Times and the USA Today every day, except Saturday, New York Times, impossible. Sunday's actually doable. It takes a long time because they're huge, but Saturday New York Times, every word is 7 or 8 letters long. They're all super vague clues. It's so hard.
So you're the smart guy in the clubhouse that's sitting there in your flip flops and, your slides and your shorts and all that, hat backward, playing, doing the New York Times crossword. There's always one dude in every clubhouse, and you're it.
Well, the funny thing is, actually, a lot of people here, like, they print them out. They print out a bunch of them because, like, considerable amount of guys do the USA Today. But yeah, only a few of us, because the New York Times you have to do on your phone, and you have to, like, it's literally, here's a little hint to anybody. If you want to get the New York Times and have access to news and crosswords, it's super cheap, especially for the first year is like literally $6.
Yep.
And then I'll just probably cancel it, or I don't know, maybe I'll keep it. We'll see.
Keep it. Go ahead. You could probably expense it. All right, so let's get caught up on a few things.
Yeah.
You had joined the team in Washington because you got COVID.
I did.
It's okay that I can share that, right?
Yeah, I was on the COVID IL, so it's that kind of stuff is interesting because you're allowed to say, what it like. You're allowed to be vague about that kind of stuff because technically you don't have to release your medicals to the public.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's just if I'm going to go down, two things. One, I just came back from an injury. I don't want people thinking that this is attached to that. But then also it's like they're going to say an illness. He's down for 10 days for an illness, and it's like, oh, I wonder what that could possibly be. So it's fine. It's fine.
How are you? You're all good?
I'm good. Yeah, it did hit me pretty hard though. I got I didn't get a cough. I didn't get like really congested, a little congested, but not much. But it was just like a 36-hour, flu basically, fever and all shakes and all that stuff. And Lydia and Lucy were with me. We had to stay in a hotel in St. Louis for 6 days or whatever. It was it's quite a process. A lot of things, a lot of moving parts, and then you just stay in a hotel in the room for 6 days, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I want to have those moving parts again.
Yeah, you couldn't leave the hotel, right?
Right. So since we had the dog, we were allowed to use the service elevator to take the dog out, but we obviously had to mask up and everything and then come right back up. So it was a lot of time spent in the room, but it was cool because we didn't hate each other. We never got to a point where just go to that side of the room. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was good. We made the best of it, I think. Watched a lot of TV shows and movies. We like crime stuff like everybody else. So we watched the new show on Apple called Blackbird. It has Taron Egerton. He's like the guy that was in the Kingsman and Rocket Man. And it's so good. It's so good. Because he's like a drug peddler who gets arrested. And then it's a true story. And then the FBI, basically, he's such a smooth talker. That's like his whole thing. So the FBI convinces him to go into a maximum security prison to try to get evidence on a serial killer who's like denying that he did stuff. It's insane. So this guy opts to go into a maximum security prison to do this, to become this guy's friend. And so it's just like, oh man, it's so, it's cool. It's really good.
Is it only one season, so it's worth my time?
Oh yeah, 6 episodes. All of them are really good, and it's over. It's just because it's a true story. The story ends.
What's the name? What's the name of it?
Blackbird.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We've been looking for a new series.
Yeah, have you? So then we watched The Outsider. It's on HBO. Did you watch that one that came out? That's a Stephen King book. So that one gets into the supernatural and stuff, but also very, very good.
Yeah, not my sort of thing. Supernatural, I'm not my thing.
It's fair. Okay. Yeah.
Hey guys, producer Rob here to tell you about AG1. I started taking AG1 probably early April because I hated the pill bottles, hated opening them, couldn't do it. The child lock would always get me. And yeah, I made the switch, and it's been a life changer. With AG1, it's just one delicious scoop into my water, and I am absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotics to help start my day. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy free, or gluten free. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with the constant product iterations and third party testing. With Athletic Greens, you're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health with just one scoop in a cup of water every day. And that's it. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you free 1 year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/rose. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/rose to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Let's get healthy.
Unfortunately, you had to miss the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah, I know.
That sucked, dude, for you. I felt so bad when I saw you went on a list. I'm like, I'm doing the math. I'm like, oh no, he's gonna miss the Field of Dreams. This is the guy whose family got in an RV and they freaking watched Field of Dreams and all the baseball movies, like when they drove cross country. And
I went to the Field of Dreams. I've been there twice. And we went just because it was, important to our family. We thought it would be cool to go. And so, yeah, I was really excited that I was going to get to play there because, there's a lot of guys that are very good at baseball that don't necessarily love the game. You know what I mean? They don't like watch it a lot. They don't watch movies about it. I am not one of those people. I am so into baseball and baseball lore and baseball movies and all that stuff. And man, it's just such a bummer. Speaking of baseball lore, here's something for you. I was reading yesterday. Have you heard like the rumors that there was Ty Cobb was like a horrible person when
that's the fact.
So fun stuff, developments coming out. Turns out that after Ty Cobb died, the guy who wrote his posthumous biography basically made everything up. He was a Pulp Fiction writer back in newspapers and like short books and stuff. And he made up a lot of stories to sell books. Not only that, but then he went to the estate, like his house, and completely cleared it out and sold everything and got all the money. Not only that, but actually made a bunch of fake stuff, like fake memorabilia, and like etched his name into it, copied his signature on stuff, and sold it all. And it was at Sotheby's, auction house, and they actually ended up like getting rid of all that stuff once they found out it was all fake. And so now there's different stuff coming out, other biographers talking about like that he actually wasn't but he was a product of his time, but he wasn't like as overtly horrible.
So he wasn't
this
a
guy
dick.
Said in his book.
He wasn't as big a dick as we all imagine.
Correct. Apparently, yes, he played really hard, and there's like the pictures of him like coming in spikes first and everything, but like the sharpening his spikes and like being like even more racist than other people at the time. Apparently, not true. I don't know. So you have to look it up. But I was researching it yesterday because I thought it was interesting.
It is interesting. Do we still know if he took the prosthetic off of the person and beat the shit out of him with it? The fan?
See, doesn't that seem like a story that once you really think about it, like, do you think that actually happened? Probably not.
I'm almost rooting that it did happen, aren't you? Because like, who in the world would ever do that?
I know, right? I'm just telling you the research that I did was obviously not like, I'm not a private detective. So, but I'm trying to figure it out because I've always heard that he was so horrible too. So once I see something that says different, I'm going to check it out.
By the way, that's all I could think about like 2 weeks ago when I saw somebody, it might've been somebody on the Yankees who was signing somebody's prosthetic. They like took it off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you see that?
I did. Yeah.
Have you ever had to sign anything? I'm not going to say a prosthetic is strange, but I think it's only a weird request when you take it off.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's been plenty of things like I I can't remember anything specifically right now, but yeah, there's plenty of times where it's just kind of, funny stuff. People will be like, I love to sign kids casts. Whenever a kid has a cast,
Sure.
I always sign it because that's always fun. But no, I guess if something comes up, something pops up in my head during the episode, I'll definitely I'll stop us and let you know.
How is your signature?
It's good. It's very consistent. It's big swoopy S, little T, big swoopy J, big swoopy B, little T. So it's
What is the J?
my middle name is Joseph.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's just,
You don't have a piece of paper to show us how it is, do you?
I don't have a. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm surprised. Like, it's one of those things I'm proud of, but then every now and then, I see like old signatures where guys used to actually like, write their name in cursive basically. And that would be cool. Of course, this pen doesn't work. Cool. Sick. Time out.
Oh, there you go. Look.
I have pens.
And
Oh,
Rourke,
yeah.
Look what he did. Our producer. He got is that it?
That's it. But that's like that's a clearly was being signed by, in a card thing so it's usually swoopier, bigger.
Oh.
When it's smaller like that, that means that's like an autograph collector who probably had a binder with 12 of my cards on it. So
I don't know if you can see that.
oh yeah, see, that's nice because you can read it. It's still very swoopy and cursive-y, which I enjoy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Field of Dreams.
Right.
Did you watch the game?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Did you cry when the Griffies had their catch?
No, I didn't cry, but I do get it. I understand what that feeling is because look, my dad and I still play catch, like we still like this is something that I've been fortunate enough to have, that my dad not only still plays baseball, but obviously we're close and we get to enjoy playing catch with each other and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he stopped playing real catch with me when I was in high school. He was I think I was 14 and he was still catching my bullpens, and then I just threw one that cut a little bit or something, and it like crushed his thumb, and he was like, okay, I'm done, I'm not doing this anymore. We can play like regular catch, but we're not doing like real stuff. My dad's got a nasty knuckleball, so he throws that to me sometimes in catch, and I'm like,
well, I mean, you've told us the great stories about it. He still plays in the whatever over 55 league or whatever that is in San
adult
Diego.
Baseball, SDAABL or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
I will say this. I didn't get to watch the game live because I was prepping for another assignment.
Mm-hmm.
I did see the highlights, and I watched the whole open with the Griffies and everything.
Of course.
The music is as identifiable as anything we've heard almost in movie lore. I mean, there's a few other themes or beats, Star Wars, obviously, right, that theme. But Field of Dreams is right up there. It's almost like top 5. And as far as movies go, it's the top one, right? You start to get emotional, you hear it.
I mean, it's just so like it's sirens. It's just so like you said, it's so identifiable. I'm gonna play it because I think my favorite part about it is like not even the actual music, if that makes sense, but like it's called The Cornfield is what it's called. Which is funny.
The piece is called The Cornfield?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You can't hear it.
Can you hear it?
No.
Useless.
Maybe Dan can find it for you, and we'll try and play it.
But it's got that like that nice like ethereal kind of feeling to it, kind of floating, and then it adds in that bass, wow, and then it's just like, wow, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean it's
called The Cornfield.
Dan just said that.
Well, listen, Dan, in fairness, Dan is filling in for Rob Scirocco, late call, and he's also doing baseball today for us. So he's pulling double duty, and he's kind of an airhead.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
you know,
I would say he's doing a great job so far in
well,
the 15
considering we haven't
minutes.
really done. Oh, well, he did find the card of you.
He did. He
He's
did. He found the card quick.
all right. Did you talk to any of your teammates about the experience yet?
No, because I haven't
You
been with
haven't-
the team yet,
yeah.
So I will ask guys today. I'll probably be annoying. Probably people will be like, all right, dude, we get it. You like Field of Dreams, like chill out, you know.
Oh God, you would have been the most annoying person there. You would have run through the corn all day. You
I would've-
probably
Yeah. I would have
right.
walked in the house and been like, oh, this is where they, this scene, and this is the truck, and then this is where the girl fell off the bleachers, and this is where, Moonlight Graham walked over the rocks. So, like, I would be annoying, really annoying.
You would have walked around. You would have gone, Moonlight Graham. You saw it. Saw what, Ray?
What does he say? Oh my gosh, when he's kidnapping him, or he's not kidnapping him, but he like fakes the gun,
Yeah,
it's
fakes it.
like, and he's talking about how it's not a gun, Ray. He's like, oh, I got a gun. No, I really do. Don't mess with me. I don't want to have to use it. That's just your finger in your pocket.
And he takes a little
Man.
thing. He takes a little thing. He's like, get
Yeah.
back to the 60s, you hippie.
Yeah.
I love the uniforms. I'm a big fan of the uniform. I have to admit, I think the Reds were a little bit better than the Cubs. Those
Yeah. The Reds almost look like, I mean, other than their hats, they almost look like they're not that different, just red pinstripes. But
the hats were awesome.
Oh yeah, the hats are sick. The hats are dope. But I feel like there was a time when we tried to do like the old uniforms. Remember when Chris Sale went through and cut all the uniforms? Because they used to do like the real old jerseys, which had collars. And so when we first did that, they were putting like these collars on, and guys were like, what are we doing? Like, this is, yeah, I get it, but like, this is modern times. We don't need to actually have the old uniform that is just like outdated and super uncomfortable, But no, I like those uniforms. I thought they were really nice, but I liked ours too.
Do you guys get to keep them?
I want to say that you get to keep one, but we don't get them. You don't get jerseys till the end of the season. They just kind of, I think you get to keep one of each, and they send them to you in the off season so you can have them. But the other ones, are held onto for MLB authentication and probably, selling and all that stuff, licensing stuff.
I know that you haven't been a member of this organization very long. You better get a Field of Dreams jersey, even though you weren't active for the game.
Oh, I'm going to do everything I can to. I'm not going to say there's going to be hell to pay, because I wouldn't actually do anything about it if I didn't, but I will definitely do my best to get one.
We have to do better than that. There will be hell to pay. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
There will be hell to pay.
Hey, Rose Rotation listeners. Sorry to interrupt, but with a special announcement, college football is back, and it's time to enjoy the tradition, the fun, and the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook to celebrate the best time of the year. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any team and get $200 in free bets instantly, win or lose. And if that's not enough action to tickle your fancy, you can also place a same-game parlay for a shot at an even bigger payout. Just combine multiple bets into one, like which team will win, which team will to score first, and more. Giolito's pitching today, our guy, our co-host. He's going 6 strong, 6 Ks, and the win. Lock it in. Lock it in now. SGP. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code ROSE and bet just $5 on any college football and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's code ROSE only at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for terms and resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Tennessee, call or text the Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. One per new customer. Minimum $5 deposit and wager. $200 issued as 8 $25 free bets. Now back to the show.
I like that hat, by the way.
So this is Brady, our 16-year-old. He's on a Cubs scout team out here in Southern California. And it is the coolest hat. I think one of the coolest hats I've ever seen. Like, you guys should wear this.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the older hats with the pinstripes on hats is always that's just an old fashioned thing. Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
But you know, I actually, that looks like a hat that I would make in MLB The Show for my Diamond Dynasty team. That's what it looks like.
That's what he does. He specializes. So Brady is, not only does he play MLB The Show, he makes all of his players from scratch. He makes the uniforms. He actually, at the school he goes to, every 4 years, every team within a 4-year gap, every sports team gets a new uniform made, so that at some point during your high school career, you're going to be wearing a new uniform. Just kind of a cool thing they do. He went to the athletic director as a freshman and said, I want to design our baseball uniforms. And so he designed them.
That's awesome.
Oh, he did it. And he did it. The home whites are pinstripe. And then he did the road ones, kind of like the Ole Miss color, light blue with the red.
Mm-hmm. I love the light blue, that baby blue or robin egg blue or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Like the full unis.
That's what he does. That might be what he wants to do, is kind of design sports apparel and stuff. He's digging that.
It'd be great. You know, I went to a tryout for a Royals scout team. I think it was the Royals when I was in high school, when I was in high school. But it was up in LA. It was up in Compton. And we went up there and did a tryout day. And I went there as a pitcher / position player, right? But then when I got there, of course, they were like, hey, you're a no-name kid, so you have to choose one. We're not going to give you the opportunity to do both. So I was like, okay, I'll pitch. And I went in, and you get 1 inning, not even 1 inning, you get 5 hitters. That's the way they do it, or they did it back then. Mm-hmm. And I struck all 5 hitters out. And then I got, it was just like, oh, we'd love to have you come up and pitch and everything. And I was with my dad, and I asked the coach, or whatever you call him, I was like, so how does this work? And he's like, well, every weekend on Sundays, we play 2 games. We would tell you which game you're going to come to. And then you would, you pitch 1 inning, just like you did today, 5 hitters. And I was like, okay, so I would have to drive 2.5 hours to pitch to 5 hitters, and then drive 2.5 hours back. And I looked at my dad, and we both were just like, not worth it. No. Absolutely not worth it. So we ended up not doing it. But it was funny because I'm not a huge strikeout guy. It just happened to be a really good day for me, and then I ended up not doing it anyways. Too much work.
How fast were you throwing at that point?
Oh, probably 85, 84, something like that. I've always been weird though. Always, never been a super hard thrower, but always my fastball played up. I think it's just because I hide it well and it carries well, whatever. But yeah, that was I'll never forget that. That was funny. It was funny just because it was a very mature decision on my part, and I'm very proud of myself for it. Where it was just like, this doesn't, because I never did like the travel ball teams and all that stuff, because it always just seemed like way too much to me. Like way too much commitment. I want to do other stuff. I don't want to be doing baseball constantly all the time. Now, obviously, as a professional, it's different. But like when I was 14, dude, I don't want to be gone all weekend, every weekend. Right. I want to be, once a month maybe. But other than that, I want to be hanging out with my friends and playing with the ball in the backyard and getting hurt on the trampoline and stuff. Sounds way more fun.
Yeah, what was that stupid game you and your brothers played?
Fumble. Greatest game ever
stupid, but it's a term of endearment.
Yeah, no, it's such a stupid game. Very simple.
So when you are on a rehab assignment like this and you have to meet the team on the road, what happens? Are you on a Southwest flight like the rest of us, like B-17?
It's just whatever flights are available. Yesterday, flying from Des Moines, all the planes are really small. They're like the planes where you have to walk in like this, and then
the regional
sit in your seat like this. But it's the longest flight out of Des Moines is like an hour. So it's just not that bad. But yeah, no, it's you just fly whatever's available. And they don't even have planes with first class or anything out of Des Moines. So there's not even an issue. There's nothing to decide.
Oh,
But last night I did get to the Des Moines airport 2 hours early, and every single restaurant was closed and I hadn't had dinner yet. So I ended up having a cold ham sandwich and Cheetos and a Coke. And that
out
was
of a
my
machine?
no, they had like like the news
Oh
stand.
yeah, the grab
So
and go.
yeah, so basically out of a vending machine. Yeah. And then I also had Gardettos and like a little cheese and nut thing, little plate. Um, but it wasn't necessarily a 5-star meal, I wouldn't say. But I
So
make the
Lydia,
best of it.
did Lydia and Lucy travel from Chicago and met you in Washington, and you flew from Des Moines?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yep.
Well, you know what? I wanted to know this, and I don't know if I asked you, but when you were a starting pitcher and you had to fly ahead of the team, how often would that happen?
So that's kind of a by choice thing. It's so the way it would work is if you were playing a night game and the next day was a day game and it was somewhere else, then you would fly early so that you could get in at a decent time. Because sometimes you get scheduled night game, travel, day game, and that night game to day game, you don't get into the place you're going until usually past midnight.
Mhm.
And then you have to be at the field again the next morning at, like 9:30 or 10. So they try to make it so that the starting pitcher, this is their one day that they need to be 100% really, is going to be 100%. So yeah, they would fly you ahead. But you know what's funny? I never actually did it. My schedule never happened that way. So I never flew early.
So
Other
do they
guys
fly
did.
you? Maybe you don't know this. Do they fly you first class when that happens?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's part of the MLBPA. Like I think they have to.
Oh,
I think
so
so.
if you had
Unless it's not available, obviously.
so if you had to fly, let's say, meet the team in LA, you wouldn't have flown obviously direct from Des Moines. That ain't happening.
No,
But you would have flown to Chicago and then they would have flown you first class to LA.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It is nice. It is nice. It's funny. I still have never been on like one of those really long first class flights, where you get like you see people have like their own booth and like a bed and stuff.
Oh,
I've never gotten to do that. I flew to New Zealand a few years ago and I was back in economy and just walking past. I looked at first class flights just because I wanted to, I wonder how much it is. It's $12,000 for a
huh?
first class ticket. Yeah, $12,000 for a first class ticket to New Zealand. So I obviously did not do that. And but when I was walking back, dude, and I see like a family of 5 and these 3 kids each have their own first class like booth, and I'm just like, man, you gotta have so much money to just be able to spend. You're spending almost 100 grand just on the flight. Like
Yep.
that is insane to me. But
That's
hey,
baller territory. That is
yeah,
baller territory.
that's
Hey,
not hey making a lot of money for maybe till I'm 40. I've been making a lot of money since I was 35 and now I'm 55 still making that much money. That's different. It's a different
have you ever
level.
flown you ever flown private?
No, not real private. No, I've only
Once you do
done
that,
yeah.
you will never want to go through an airport ever again.
Well, of course, but I mean, honestly, I don't mind airports. I was walking through the airport yesterday and just, it's kind of nice people around. And most of the time, most people are pretty upbeat because what can you do? We're all stuck in the airport together. I love seeing people order a cheeseburger and a beer at like 6:45 in the morning because they've been flying, all day and their schedule is totally messed up. I think that's hilarious. But there's no judgment in airports, you just do what you got to do. The only people I judge are the people who like going through the security line are like, oh my gosh, my flight is, stops boarding in 5 minutes. I need to go. Can I please cut? And I'm always like, yeah, I mean, I don't really care. But the reason I don't care is because I'm a responsible individual who got here on time.
I have one good friend. His name's Kevin Frazier. He's a host of Entertainment Tonight.
Yep.
Don't know if you're familiar with it, but Kevin's like my mentor in the business. He has always pushed the envelope, and it drives me up a fucking wall about how close he can get to the doors shutting.
Why?
And
Why
now,
would you do that?
because that's what he did. That's how he deals with life. Like he's got such a good heart, and he really is a great guy. But his joke is, man, my time mechanism is just off. I can't deal. So,
Well, hey, as long as you get to the flight on time, I guess it doesn't really matter.
guess so. And when you're Kevin Frazier, they're going to hold the flight for you.
Yeah.
That's what happens. If it's Rose, door gets slammed in your face. But I am I'm the worst with travel. I am, Millar still reaches out to me because I'm like a travel agent.
Right.
He texts me. He's like, yeah, my flight is at this time. I need you to see where my plane is and stuff. I'd check all the amenities for him. When we worked on Intentional Talk, I'd always sit there on a Friday when we were flying back from New Jersey. He would go back to Austin. I'd go to LA. I'd tell him, well, your flight is coming in right now from Charlotte. It's scheduled to be in on time. Oh, and you do have DirecTV on the flight. He's like, yes. And he still reaches out. We haven't worked together for a year and a half. He still asks me.
See, that is absurd to me because I don't check anything. I love the surprise. I don't even know what type of aircraft it is. I don't know if it's a big one or a small one before I get on it. I don't know if there's DirecTV. I always come prepared. I download some stuff on my iPad. I'm always ready to go. But my mom always wants me to send my flight info to her so she can check everything, just so that she knows, because she's a mom and that's what moms do.
That's what parents do.
Yeah.
I do it all the time with my kids if they fly, or Michelle when she's gone. Yep. That's what we do.
It's so funny.
You know what you do?
What do I do?
You go to the Jonas Brothers concert.
Oh, I would go to another Jonas Brothers concert in a heartbeat.
Where was this?
It was in Arizona. It was in Scottsdale.
Oh, when was it?
In Phoenix. It was 2 years ago.
What, didn't Lydia just post it?
Yeah, because it was Shaney's birthday.
Oh.
And that's Kevin Newman's wife. And we're good friends with them. And we all went together. We got to go, backstage and meet the Jonas Brothers and everything. Because all the girls went and saw the Jonas Brothers in Pittsburgh when we were there. But it was during one of our games, all the wives and girlfriends all went to the Jonas Brothers concert. And Jameson Tyon, because he was hurt and wasn't allowed to join the team. So he went with them. He was their chaperone, I guess. But so they got to meet him then. And then so when we were in Arizona, we got to kind of, play that card again. And it always helped to have Cole Tucker around because he seems to know everybody. And, he plays basketball with the Jonas Brothers and stuff. He's just that guy. But yeah, it was really cool. And it was so much fun. Dude, there's something different about concerts where this is going to sound funny, but where people actually play the instruments during the show. Jonas Brothers, they're like a pop group, so you just assume it's gonna be like a show, kind of like a Beyonce show or like a Justin Bieber show, where it's mostly, there's a lot of live musicians, but mostly it's more focused on the show itself and not the musicians. The Jonas Brothers, it was the three of them, and it was like three other guys, and they're on this massive stage, but the stage wasn't full of musicians. It was their band, and they were going nuts the whole time. They were jumping around everything, and they were really, really good live. So yeah, I mean, this is, how could you not? Look at that. That's Shaney. She's the best. Yeah,
you could be the fourth Jonas brother.
Yeah, I've heard that, but what's funny about that is they are very short. I stand I'm not even that tall, I'm I'm 6'1", and I mean, I towered over them. They're probably 5'6".
Really?
Yeah, really, really short. It was funny because I have heard that before, especially when my hair's a little bit longer and it's curly. But yeah, no, it's they would be like, wow, that doesn't really fit. These three guys are not very tall, and that guy's taller. I wouldn't say, I'm not super tall. I have a lot of much taller friends, but it's all right. We actually, okay, here's a good story for you. So the last few weeks have been a little bit stressful, especially around the last 72 hours, or a little more than that now. But like when I figured out I was gonna, did the math, figured out I was gonna miss the Field of Dreams game. Lydia looked up, she was looking up stuff, and we wanted to go see Jesse James Decker. She's a country singer, married to whatever that guy's name is, the ex-football player. But we were gonna go to her concert in Arizona in the off season. It got canceled because she got COVID. Huge bummer. So, but then once I figured out I was going to miss the Field of Dreams game, we're sitting at home, and Lydia found out that Jesse James Decker was performing at the Field of Dreams game, of course. So we didn't get to go to see that. So she was upset. And then there's a bunch of weird stuff going on with the apartment we were moving into in Chicago. So I kind of was not on my best mental. I forgot my equipment bag for my rehab assignment. So I pitched 2 rehab games with none of my own stuff. I was wearing other people's undershirts and socks and shoes and cleats and glove, everything.
Does that weird you out as a professional? I mean, like, hey, I forgot a shirt. Can I borrow a shirt? For a regular human being, it doesn't seem like that big a deal. To a baseball player, you must have gone manic.
Yeah, I mean, the undershirt, not a big deal. The clothes, not a big deal. It's the glove and the cleats that are just, because, you wear cleats for a little while to mold them to your feet, that kind of thing, And so I'm wearing somebody else's cleats. I was wearing, and the glove, my glove said Wyatt Short on it because he's one of the pitchers in AAA and he's left-handed. So I needed a glove, so I used that. And it's just so funny. It kind of, I totally forgot. I didn't even remember until I was going to the field in Des Moines. On the way to the field, I was like, I don't have anything. I completely forgot my entire equipment bag. I'm the stupidest person. I am.
Gotta be honest. The sticking your hand in somebody else's glove, that's the part I think that would weird me out a little.
Yeah, it's becoming less of a thing now. I think superstition's kind of going away, to an extent. And so there's less of that. I remember when I was in high school, there was a guy on our team, and a younger guy, we were seniors, and he like a sophomore or something, like wanted to check out his glove, and he just picked it up and he put it on, and he didn't ask the senior if he could put the glove on his hand. And the guy got so mad. We had to like pull him apart. They almost got into a fight. And I know some people really care about that, but I don't. It wouldn't matter to me, but like, I understand it. I would never put my hand in somebody else's glove unless I asked first. You know what I mean?
Well, you're not allowed to touch anybody's gamer. I know that.
Right. So that's the main thing. I had to ask Wyatt, like, which one's your game glove? And he's like, dude, just grab whichever one you want. I was like, Wyatt, I'm not going to do that. Tell me which one that you don't really use. Because he had like 4. So I was like, I'll take any of these. It doesn't matter. I just need you to tell me which one you actually want to use during the game so that I don't use it. It worked out. We figured it out.
Can I do want to talk a little bit of baseball with you.
I love baseball.
Very quickly. When you heard about the Tatis suspension, what was your first thought?
Exasperation, I think, would be the word. We talked about this from the get-go. It's a very surprising move to make, to sign a guy who hadn't even had a full year in the major leagues to a $335 million contract. And then he's made multiple, like, if you get hurt doing baseball stuff, that's one thing, but you get hurt riding a motorcycle, just a bad decision, just not thinking. And then to have this happen, it's just like, dude, like, talk about just not really seeing, I'm not really seeing the kind of maturity you'd expect from somebody who signed a deal like that, and it's too bad. It's really sad. And dude, the AJ Preller's, quotes about it was very, straightforward, to the point. Like, they're not sugarcoating anything. They're not happy with it. And why would you be,
I want you to listen to what one of his teammates, Mike Clevenger, had to say. This is Clevenger the day that all the Padres found out.
Very disappointed. As the second time we've been disappointed with him, and it's just, you hope he grows up and learns from this and learns that it's not just, it's about more than just him right now.
Yeah, that's very eloquently put. It's not, I mean, you can't just make decisions fully based on yourself. The problem this is something that my friend and I were talking about yesterday. Um, the problem is what is the penalty here? There's not enough. The guy's gonna miss 80 games and then he's still gonna be on a $300 million contract.
Well, what
Like,
what
what's
would
the
you do? I mean, the Padres can't say, all right, fuck it, we're rescinding the contract, because guess what? Somebody else is going to be in line to sign Fernando Tatis Jr. He's an amazing player. I mean, I love
amazing hitter?
Okay, fine. You can talk. We can talk about his defense. His defense is shoddy. He might even move off of shortstop and become a center fielder, where he could end up being great.
Right.
The point is he's an electrifying player. He's
Oh,
really
yeah,
one
like,
of the right. You
yeah,
can
talk
agree on that.
about just a guy. He's a vortex. He draws everybody in around him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what would you do? You can't penalize the guy.
This is what I'm saying is like this is the back and forth of this whole problem is I agree in that if you were to just say like the contract is voided, that's not going to help because like you said, somebody else is going to pick him up, and then a team's just going to get a great player at this hugely discounted price, right? So that's not going to work. So it has to be something personally to him, and I don't know what it would be unless it's because if you take away some money like for the next year and you don't make the team still pay it, right? Then they're getting this now you're just getting the superstar for super cheap. So if you're the team, absolutely, you would why would you not want your stars to do that and get to pay them cheap? So I don't know. I really don't know. It's not right. It's not right. It's it's not okay for somebody to sign a contract like that and cheat. This is cheating we're talking about. This is real cheating. And I saw what he said about what happened, and I'm sorry, I just don't believe it because I think that I don't know how you get that's an anabolic steroid, right? That he tested positive for.
Yeah, to treat ringworm.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think you get anabolic steroids for treating ringworm. Pretty sure you don't. In fact, I think ringworm is just like basically laxatives, isn't it? Isn't it like you have to like get it out? I'm pretty sure.
It's a skin condition.
Oh, it's a skin thing. I'm thinking of what's the
What,
worms that get in your
heartworm
stomach.
for your dog? Like that's something Lucy would get.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, these are different things. We're not equating Lucy to Tatis. I guess the big picture, and we're not going to solve it here today.
Mm-mm.
If you were a member of the Padres organization moving forward and he was going to be your teammate for a while, like, how do we get back to trusting him? Is it one-on-one conversations? Is it him addressing the group? What is it?
No, it's like it's building trust again with anybody in any relationship in your life is more about time than anything else. It's more about consistency. After you lose trust, the only way to build that trust up again is over time showing over and over again that you are trustworthy. It's not one thing that you can do because he can go in front of the team and have the most heartfelt thing ever and people can, that's great, but it still doesn't show me. The only way to show is, for him, it's going to be, play a full season, maybe a full season and a half, and focus on the team, focus on winning and all that stuff. Be there for your teammates and your guys. And yeah, they're not gonna be outwardly hostile towards the guy. It's gonna be a process, just like anything else in life. You got to do it over time.
I wonder openly if he's headed down the A-Rod path. And I don't think that's a great one you want to have.
No, well, A-Rod's still speaking on TV all the time, so
I know
it's working.
Right. And the guy owns the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not saying, listen, he's extremely successful. Even on his K-Rod broadcast on Sunday night, he was talking about how much he regrets it in terms of, how it changed. He has to explain to his daughters. all this sort of stuff. It's kept him. It's going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame. He's come to grips with all that sort of stuff. But still, whenever I hear him talk, I'm like, does he really like hurt his heart, or is
Right.
it?
Well, I mean, part of that is when he was going through it, he was full denial, right? I mean, he never
He
admitted to
freaking
it.
sued the league.
Yeah, until recently. And now it's like, but I mean, that is something that comes with age, right? You look back on your life and realize, like, I've been holding on to this. I need to get it off my chest, kind of thing, you know? But Tatis is doing the same thing. He's completely denying any knowledge of doing it. And if you are really going to say, like, I don't know, I haven't done the research on ringworm medications, but I don't know, that just doesn't seem it doesn't seem like a solution.
It doesn't quite fit. According to all the reports, there hasn't been one dermatologist who's come out and said, yes, that's the one.
Right. Yeah.
Plazostol or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Take that. It could solve it.
It's too bad. In my opinion, it's the classic. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Like a parent. I'm disappointed. You hate to see it. There's a lot of guys working their ass off all the time the right way to do it, and then this guy comes up and signs a $300 million contract, and then we find out he's cheating, and it's like, that sucks.
Well, it makes the rest of the sport look like shit. I got to be honest with you, right? I work in both sports, Major League Baseball and NFL. And so I was actually doing an NFL game, preseason game between the Browns and the Jaguars when the news broke. And all anybody could say, because some of the guys who work in the NFL world are not big baseball fans, but they know who Tatis Jr. is. They're like, oh, there goes another baseball superstar cheating. And all I can say is, yep.
Yeah, seriously. And it's ugly. It's ugly for the game. And it's hard to, it's a huge bummer. It's a huge bummer because we have in baseball, we have Juan Soto and we have Mike Trout, right? But those guys aren't the same as Tatis. They don't electrify things. Bryce Harper, he does, but he's not playing right now. He's out. That sucks. So everybody's all excited about Tatis coming back. Everybody's showing video of him playing in AA and AAA and rehabbing and everything. And the weird thing is, like, I don't know how long ago he found out that he had a positive test, because he said he was appealing at first and then decided not to.
Yeah.
Well, the appeal process can take like months. So like he could have already known for a while, but I don't think so, because I don't think the organization knew. Or at least
they seem pretty bamboozled on this one.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. And the unfortunate truth is that 3 years from now, people aren't even going to remember that he tested positive.
That's not true. I disagree with you.
Okay. Well, check back 3 years from now. Put a reminder on your phone. Seriously.
I disagree with you. I think that's still, when you look at A-Rod, what's the first thing you think of?
That's A-Rod. A-Rod was like the steroids guy. Like what was the company? The
Balco.
Yeah. Like everybody knows about it because they had the whole release of names, and it was like a huge thing and everything. But like when Tatis comes back, his first game back with San Diego, absolute standing ovation, roaring. Everybody's going to be absolutely ecstatic.
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you with that, but I still think that when you look at him, you are always going to think cheater. He's going to have a scarlet letter on him from now on. You don't think so?
I think in some circles he will be, like real true baseball fans. Yeah. But most people know.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Who's a guy that tested positive that we don't talk about? Logan Webb. I mean, these things happen. Like, people get caught, and
but
then
Logan Webb wasn't a star when that happened. Emmanuel Clase wasn't a star. Like Rafael Palmeiro.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is these things still get forgotten, which is, in my opinion, is not okay.
I think it gets forgotten based on That's a good one. Dan said Nelson Cruz.
Yeah.
That's a real good one. It's not the first thing you think of with Nelson Cruz. It's true.
And like it's just like it just these things kind of, they get swept under the rug, which human condition, everybody makes mistakes. If you own up to it and move forward, eventually it makes sense. But if you just deny it, I don't think you should ever go away, in my opinion.
Well, I have to be honest with you. You know what a mistake is? Leaving the milk out overnight.
Yeah.
This is a little
intentionally cheating is pretty much the worst. Yeah. And I mean, personally, as a huge baseball fan and like growing up loving the game and everything, it hurts. It hurts. Like, dude, I was just as excited as everybody else about Tatis coming back, except, if I had to pitch against him, that part's scary a little bit. But like, as far as him coming back and what it does for the game, like there was a day 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago where the average attendance around the league was like 31,000 fans for a given day. And it's the highest it's ever been. And so the game is growing. The game is doing great. It's fantastic. People are really watching baseball again. And Tatis was a big part of that. And now he's going to be out. The Padres, to their credit, they've done everything they can to keep that team, doing well without him. But now they're going to miss him for, 40 games next year too? Something like that?
Basically, yeah. By the way, you got a little ornery at me when I said that's not true. You should have seen the look in your eye. You almost wanted to fight me over Zoom.
Over the fact that people forget.
Yeah, you
people
really
forget. You know why I know people forget? Because in our group chat, we mention that sometimes where it's like, people forget this guy got caught in PEDs, and you're like, oh, that's right. Like I forget, we forget. But
I understand. But when the thing is, when I said it, you really were like, I was like, oh, Steven.
I don't like cheaters, man. I don't.
I'm all in favor of cheaters. Before we let you go, let's spin the wheel of moderately interesting things.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Giving mood. What was the last good gift you bought somebody?
The last good gift I bought somebody. Gift giving is not one of my love languages, so I don't do it very often.
So let's spin a different thing. You have a choice.
Mini-Me
or Stranger Things, which you got the first time with the armpit smelling, and you did. My wife, Michelle, loved your answer.
So is it a different question this time?
Yes, it is, but if you don't want to do it, that's okay.
What's Mini-Me? I don't know what that is.
Mini-Me is, what is your one snack you will go to in the mini fridge when you are on the road?
In a hotel? I'm going to be completely honest. I have never taken a single thing from a mini bar. Not once.
That's impossible.
Never done it.
You're the only human.
There's something about looking in the mini fridge or like the little snacks next to it and seeing like a Snickers bar for $6 that just, I'm not going to do it. I've never done it. I've never done it. I guess the only thing I've done is if there's like a big Fiji water, I have had that before.
Yeah. For like $80.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell you what, one of the worst, I was in Vegas and, we were at a club, it was off season. We had a Chainsmokers concert, dancing, And so I want to go get waters. There's 4 of us. So I go up to the bar and I want to get 4 waters and I'll get a shot of Jack Daniels or something, just so that I was buying something, because I'd never been to Vegas before. I didn't know how it worked. The woman brings over 4 little Fiji, like the little Fiji bottles and a shot of Jack Daniels, and I get a check and it was $118. And I was like, and this is when I was in the minor leagues. I had no money. It was the only reason we were there was because of a buddy that had a table or something. So I was just, and that's when I realized so this is how it works. They charge you $20, $24 for a mini Fiji water. Like, okay.
Yep. Yeah. It's not, sticker shock is a real thing in Vegas.
Real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
That's an amazing, by the way. I'm shocked. I can't believe you are the first person I've met that has never done anything. For
Yeah, I've
me,
never
it's
taken
peanut
any
M&Ms.
snacks.
If they're usually in the clear cube or whatever,
Mhm.
I just rip that thing open. I go to town. I'm like some cartoon character. I'm like Homer Simpson. I just,
See, that's so funny. I don't know why. Like, I'm not against, incidentals. I do room service sometimes for breakfast, and like maybe get if they have like a brownie with ice cream, for
Yeah.
dessert after the game. Sometimes that's always nice. But no, I've never just eaten the snacks.
Well, listen, man, it's good catching up with you. Tell Lydia hello.
Mhm.
Thank you for introducing the world to Lucy. She is
course.
adorable.
She is.
And I'll catch up with you in September. Definitely want to see you again soon.
Dude, I will say, now, it's been a long season for me. I'm excited to just start playing again and just play out the rest of the season and then go to the off season. But it's getting to that time, man. Playoff baseball, atmosphere stuff is going on, and it's exciting to watch.
Yeah. You're going to be our John Boy Media correspondent, I think, during the playoffs.
I would love to be. You know me. I'm going to be glued in for most innings of most games. So
yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you doing this. Special shout out to our producer for the day, the one and only Dan Rourke, filling in for Robbie Scirocco. That is Stephen Brault. I am Chris Rose. We will see you next time on the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media.